Important issues last night. Former President Donald Trump took the stage at the Republican National Convention to discuss his election bid.
Meanwhile, calls keep growing louder for President Joe Biden to drop out of the race. Well, that happened this weekend. Robert Moses, outside Trump Tower, what's going on?
Rosanna and Dan, security is tight here, even though the former president is not here. He's actually across the Hudson at his golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey. Clocking in at more than 90 minutes, his acceptance speech last night was the longest in modern American history, breaking a record set previously by, yes, you guessed it, him. After an initial appeal for unity, the speech became a familiar catalog of grievances. Early this morning, as Republicans celebrated in Milwaukee after former President Donald Trump officially accepted the nomination, there was no celebration 900 miles away in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, where President Joe Biden, who is recovering from COVID, remains isolated in more ways than one. It was a remarkable split screen. Republicans united behind their candidate, Democrats increasingly pessimistic about theirs. There is a growing sense that President Biden's re-election bid could be in its final hours, just as former President Trump gains momentum.
I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States.
The former president sounded much more subdued than normal as he recounted Saturday's assassination attempt at the beginning of his speech.
The assassin's bullet came within a quarter of an inch of taking my life.
It's a story for the history books, and one that the former president promised to summarize once and only once.
You'll never hear it from me a second time because it's actually too painful to tell. If I had not moved my head at that very last instant, the assassin's bullet would have perfectly hit its mark, and I would not be here tonight. We would not be together. I'm not supposed to be here tonight.
The crowd then started chanting, "Yes, you are."
Thank you. But I'm not. And I'll tell you, I stand before you in this arena only by the grace of Almighty God.
Minutes later, he strode across the stage and kissed the helmet of Corey Comparator, the former fire chief who was killed at his rally. After a somber beginning, the former president's tone became more combative. He mentioned the president by name only twice.
If you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the United States, think of it, the 10 worst, added them up, they will not have done the damage that Biden has done. Only going to use the term once. Biden. I'm not going to use the name anymore.
That name is the subject of much angst in the Democratic Party. Senator Jon Tester of Montana, who is facing a tough re-election fight, said yesterday that the president should not seek re-election. And Congressman Jamie Raskin of Maryland earlier this month sent the president a letter that just became public in which the congressman invoked baseball. There is no shame in taking a well-deserved bow to the overflowing appreciation of the crowd when your arm is tired out, Raskin wrote. One person close to the president told the New York Times that, quote, reality is setting in, and that it would not be a surprise to hear him soon bow out and endorse his vice president, Kamala Harris.
We are 110 days out.
A new AP NORC poll finds that about 6 in 10 Democrats think the vice president would do a good job at the top of the ticket. Meantime, the Biden campaign has scheduled an all-staff meeting for later on today, and all eyes will be on the Biden campaign throughout this weekend as it is beset with uncertainty. We're live at Trump Tower this morning. Rosanna and Dan, back to you.
All right, thank you so much.